Xbox wants to bring more games to backwards compatibility. However, it is a lot harder than we think. One of my favorite things about the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S is its support for backwards compatibility. I would say that since I've gotten my X and S, I've played more 360 and Xbox One games than I've played optimized games, mainly just because there's so many games in my backlog, in my back catalog, that I would just love to get to. And I'm not the type of person who just ignores old games because we're on to a new generation. Now, before we get into this any further, if you guys are new here and you like what you see throughout this video, I would really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button to help this channel grow and help grow this community so we can have great conversations in the comments below. So one of the biggest questions people with an Xbox console ask is, are there going to be more games coming to backwards compatibility? And there's been kind of a mixed messaging or mixed thoughts on this. I would say some people thought that what's in there now is all that's going to come, but it's clear that they're still working on bringing more backwards compatible games to the ecosystem, to the Xbox Series X and S. It's just a matter of how many can they bring and really what games they have access to. Now, this was a question asked by Lords of Gaming to Jason Ronald, and here is what Jason Ronald said. What I'll say is we want to bring more games to the program, but it gets harder and harder. First off, technically, can we make some of these games work? But more often than that now is, in some cases, these developers or publishers don't exist anymore, or there's licensing agreements, or maybe a developer has plans for a franchise, so it's definitely a challenge. Now, that's something that makes a lot of sense. I think one of the biggest reasons some games don't make it to backwards compatibility is just simply for the licensing agreements. There's probably so much like legal stuff that has to go into that from Xbox in order to renew licenses for games that aren't available anymore, or that they don't have for the platform, or whatever it is. I don't know the legal stuff around it. However, they definitely need to have some sort of agreement in place with the publisher in order to be able to bring those games to backwards compatibility. So if it's going to be a long process, they're probably not going to pursue, especially as I've said in previous videos, if it's a game that has a fan base that is tiny, or a game that they project will not get a lot of eyes on, not a lot of people will play, it's probably not worth the effort for them to go through it. Now, Jason Ronald also went on to say that he is aware of the games that fans want to come to backwards compatibility. Here's what he said. I'll definitely say it's getting harder, but we would like to bring more games to the program. I can't commit to any specific games or confirm whether we're going to be able to add more games in the future, but it's definitely something that we're working on. We're trying to do what we can, but I'll definitely say that we hear the feedback. And I mean, that's great news, because there are tons of games that I'm sure fans still want into backwards compatibility, and we've seen Xbox that they do listen to the feedback, so that's good that he acknowledges that they see that people want more games. So that is probably going to become a priority for them to try to get more games to backwards compatibility. And I mean, not only are they bringing those games to backwards compatibility, or trying to right now, they're also working on that FPS boost that they just announced, which is upgrading a lot of these games to 60 FPS. However, I believe right now they're only going to be focusing on the Xbox One games, bringing games that were in 30 FPS and up to 60 or even beyond, and then maybe they'll be looking at the 360 games after. I think that's what they are doing right now, but it would just be awesome to see them continue to expand the backwards compatibility if it's feasible. I would love to see it happen. But yeah, I mean, for me, I would love to see a bunch more. Like, I have a pretty big collection of 360 games, Xbox original games, and Xbox One games, and there's just so many. Like, I look over at my shelf here, like see like that Chronicle of Rakes game come, the Amped series come to backwards compatibility, Max Payne 3 would be cool to come. There's so many more I could just go through that I would love to see them come, but I mean, if they don't, I'll still have the physical versions of. But for some people, it'd be cool if they brought those over for digital download if they haven't experienced the games before. Anyways, guys, that's it for me. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. What games do you want to see come to backwards compatibility that aren't there right now? And do you think they're going to be able to bring more with the licensing stuff that goes on, and just with the technical aspect of doing this? If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you are new here and you liked what you see throughout this video, I would really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button to help this channel grow and help grow this community so we can have great conversations in the comments below. Thank you again for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video.